for He got it! He got it! Perfection in Pittsburgh!
You believe in miracles? Yes!
The Bills make me wanna.
Nobody circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills.
This is the Jube Alert on WNIA Radio. Here are your hosts, Greg Jube and Kyle Barker.
The 2-2, swinging a line drive, caught by Castro. Cubs win. Jake Arrieta pitches a shutout. Goodbye, Pittsburgh. Hello, St. Louis.
Well, on that note, good afternoon, everybody. Today is Friday, October 9th, 2015. And here we are, just an hour later than normal here at 2 p.m. Eastern. Just had a little bit of a time issue, so pushed it back an hour today. Hope you're out in Radio Land listening, having yourself a good time. Alongside Kyle Barker, I am Greg Jube, and this is once again the Jube Alert here from the Gallagher Center on WNIA, Niagara University's Mix and More Radio. So let's jump into the big story from the big game that we certainly hyped up back on Monday. National League wildcard game Wednesday night, and we'll certainly catch up on the American League game too. But first, Jake Arrieta did just what Jake Arrieta's been doing since the All-Star break, shut down the Pirates, and the Cubs got a little help from Kyle Schwarber and Dexter Fowler in particular, and the Cubs went on to a 4-0 victory. The Cubs will play today in the National League Division Series against St. Louis, so the rivalry is back up. And in the postseason, though.
Let's crank this up for a second.
They're singing, go, Cubs, go! Go, Cubs, go! Hey, Chicago, what do you say? The Cubs are gonna win today. Go, Cubs, go! Go, Cubs,
Oh, what a great game. What a great wild card performance by Jake Arrieta.
Well, yeah, the first part of that was up for debate, but okay.
Oh, fantastic stuff by Jake Arrieta. Gets out of a jam, big jam. That could have been a 4-3 game after that. Was it the sixth inning he did that?
Oh, the jam was in the sixth.
It was the sixth inning. He gets out of the jam. And then Kyle Schwarber out of the stadium. Oh, fantastic game to watch, especially if you're rooting for the Cubs. Not so good if you're rooting for the Pirates.
I mean, it was pretty reminiscent for the most part of last year, last year's wild card game when the Pirates faced Bumgarner and the Giants. Maybe a little more offensive opportunity. The Pirates only got 4 hits still. Didn't get any extra base hits. 4 singles. Cervelli, McCutcheon, Michael Morse, Travis Snyder, and a pinch hit roll all got singles. And Arrieta, for the most part, really dominated that game. And I think that jam in the 6th inning with Marte up was really kind of like the swan song. And that's what completely shifted all the momentum in that series. So,
big day for the Cubs. That's a huge win for the Cubs. Big franchise win. They've been looking for a playoff win since the 2003 NLCS Game 4.
Because we all know what happened after that.
Well, people forget that they won Game 4 and then they lost 5, 6, or no. Yeah. That can't be right. It couldn't have been Game 4. TBS said it was Game 4, but they weren't up 3-0 and got swept.
No, that's only happened once in history.
Yeah, that's not right. No, TBS had that wrong. It wasn't our stuff, but they didn't win very much after. It might have been Game 5, but nevertheless, they haven't won a playoff game in over 12 years. Huge day for the Cubs. Huge day. There was some bad blood in that room as we were watching. Me and you were not really.
I thought you were meaning towards the brawl in the 7th.
Oh, no, that made me really angry. But still, it's amazing what sports does to friendships. Amazing to what it does, when you're buddies. And me and Greg were sitting there, and that whole fiasco started with Arrieta getting beamed. Now, Jake Arrieta had 2 pitches high and inside. He didn't mean to hit the Pirates.
Yeah, but at the same time, if it was really a big deal, Tony Watson would have thrown it at his head.
It's just really stupid, though. Jake Arrieta was not hitting the bat at all. He was swinging at pitches way out of the zone. He was a sure out. And then you let him get on base, and then I really liked what Arrieta did. He stole second base. That really made the Pirates angry. Not only did he
it didn't
get
make
on
a
base,
difference.
I mean, it didn't make a difference, but I mean, who was calling the game? Was it Kenny Albert? No,
it was Ernie John.
And he's like, "Oh, Arrieta's going," and I'm like, "What? Arrieta just stole second?" That sums up the Pirates' day in a nutshell. There, Jake Arrieta stole second, and the Cubs beat him 4-0. Oh, but Kyle Schwarber's home run, man, you knew right away. Mm-hmm. Right away.
Just had enough pop and enough elevation before they even shifted the camera to tell that
Enough
it was gone.
pop. That thing had moonshot pop to it. That thing was gone. A big bat flip too. I loved every second of that game. Not so much for Greg. I was a little rude to Greg during the game. I will admit. I do apologize.
You should be.
I rubbed it in a little bit. I do have to remember that the Cubs haven't won anything in 108 years. So I need to tone my fun down a little bit. But it was nice to beat the Pirates and the second best team in the majors.
Whoever wins this Mets-Dodgers series, I am totally behind you for the NLCS. Cannot stress it enough. I need you to win the NLCS because I will literally scratch my eyes out if the Cardinals and especially if the Cubs make it.
What do you mean? If the Cubs go to the World Series and Toronto goes to the World Series, you wouldn't go to Toronto with me?
Look how expensive tickets are going to be. Toronto hasn't won a playoff game in 20 years.
And Chicago hasn't won anything in 108. Your point? They're going to be expensive.
Yeah, they're going to be expensive. They're going to be a couple hundred each.
That's what you work all summer for, is to afford these things in your freshman year of college and go broke again.
No, I got other stuff to go broke on, I think, more than a one-time experience in a game that could very well be 1-0 on a sac fly in the first. I've been to a game like that. So anyway, yeah, that's the NL wildcard game. Cubs, again, will be facing the Cardinals today. Yadier Molina, for the first time in quite a bit, will be in the lineup for the Cardinals. So Mike Matheny said he's got the green light. He's all good to go. So Cardinals, Cubs, Dodgers, Mets is what you're looking at today. Moving on to the AL wildcard game. In another impressive matchup, the Astros and the Yankees. And boy, Dallas Keuchel really shut down the Bronx Bombers. And it was pretty impressive. You could look at the Yankees, okay, no Teixeira. No guy playing second that anybody's ever heard of, because we found out shortly after Brian Cashman spoke to the media after the game saying that they did have a deal with Ben Zobrist with Oakland, but the Yankees shut it down. So there was that. CC Sabathia announced he was away from the team, and he would be gone the rest of the postseason if they kept moving.
My big thing from last night is, how about Colin McHugh?
Tuesday night.
The Astros were, the AL wildcard game, but I'm talking about last night's game with the Astros and Royals. How about the Astros are on fire right now, and how about Colin McHugh last night? I bet you he has not had to deal with a rain delay at all this season. Not in a place like Houston. And not in a place like that, and maybe you'll get an occasional road game, but I believe they said that he did not have any rain delay. And he has, about an hour, 45 minute to an hour rain delay last night. Didn't lose his touch at all. Was able to do everything perfect. Had a great rhythm to his game last night. Shut down that explosive Kansas City bats in the lineup. I thought he pitched really, really well for the Astros last night. Someone that you don't really hear about, but he's very quietly good and just does about his things. He had 19 wins on the season. He went 19-7. He was 1 win from 20 wins.
Remember, Kansas City last year did not lose a game in the postseason until the World Series.
Yep.
After beating the A's, they went and swept the Angels, who won, I think, 98 games last year.
Yeah, the Angels were good last year.
98 games, and then they went match up against Baltimore. They went and they swept the O's, too. And then it took till Game 1 with Bumgarner for the Royals to lose. And now you look right off the bat, the number one team in the American League right now is already lost one game at home. So, wow, yeah, that's something to look forward to going on forward that series. Just an update on the game going on right now up over the border. Texas and Toronto is currently in the midway through the fifth. Josh Donaldson is playing for the Blue Jays. Adrian Beltre is not for the Rangers. So 3-3 in the fifth is what you're looking at right now.
Is Jose Bautista playing?
Jose Bautista is playing.
He is in the lineup today? Okay.
A Shin-Soo Choo single, a Mitch Moreland fielder's choice, Josh Donaldson hit a home run, actually, earlier in the game. So all is okay and well. So that game is currently on MLB Network. And then later tonight, there's 4 games on tonight. Next at 3:30 will be the Houston-Kansas City game. That will be matchup Johnny Cueto for the Royals, Scott Kazmir for the Astros. So that's 3:30. That game will be on Fox Sports 1. And then at 6:30, Cardinals and Cubs in that matchup. That game will be on TBS, and that will face John Lackey against John Lester.
I'm taking the Cubs.
Both pitchers are over the hill. Just remember that. And then finally, Mets-Dodgers at 9:30. That game also on TBS. Jacob deGrom gets the ball for the Mets. And, of course, Clayton Kershaw will start Game 1 for the Dodgers. So lots of stuff on that end. Lots of good stuff going on in baseball with the postseason right now. Let's move our attention to elsewhere last night. Down in the heart of Texas, the Colts and the Texans. And, boy, something you have to say is either Houston's really not good this year, or boy is Matt Hasselbeck in the fountain of youth. Because Matt Hasselbeck is a lot better than a lot of quarterbacks, it looks like right now, and he's 40. He was in the same draft class, 98, as Peyton Manning. And the Colts came out with a very nice win yesterday, 27-20, thanks in large part to Brian Hoyer's scramble on 3rd and 2. Threw it deep down the field, trying to throw it away, ends up throwing a pick. Texans thought they could get the ball back. After 2 run stuffs and burning 2 timeouts, Matt Hasselbeck threw one deep down the sideline to T.Y. Hilton. That iced the game. So, yeah, quite the day. And you look at it, especially what makes it impressive is Andrew Luck's shoulder's injury was still bad enough. They wanted to be safe. They kept him out. He tried it before the game. Still was a no-go. And Matt Hasselbeck was in the hospital until 2 a.m. Tuesday with complications from a virus. So you look at all that's happened. And Matt Hasselbeck yesterday was 18 for 29, 213, and 2 scores. Frank Gore obviously helped, almost getting 100 yards. He ended up with 98 and a score. Good to see him coming out. Andre Johnson, back in Houston, got a touchdown. So, I mean, the Colts, people wrote them off for a little bit, but now they're 3-2. They're a little more comfortable. Go ahead.
I don't think that any stats is going to replicate this win. The Colts got their record 16th win in a row against the division. I did not catch any of this game. I can't really speak for it, but I did catch the last 2 minutes. I just happened to turn it on. I caught the last bomb pass that T.Y. Hilton caught to steal the game. And I'm watching at the end of the post game, and Matt Hasselbeck, at 40 years old, is crying in the post game interview. It just shows that, it doesn't matter what age it is, and it doesn't matter if you're a backup or anything. That guy loves to play football, and he gutted out a great win last night. Houston, from the sounds of it, didn't play all that bad. I heard there was a little bit of a quarterback issue.
Brian Mallett took himself out.
I can't speak on that, but from what it sounds like is that Houston gutted out a win, and it sounds like, Matt Hasselbeck at 40 years old, I'm looking at the stat line now, to go 18 for 29 with 213 yards and 2 picks, to have a QBR of 92.1 at 40, pretty good. A lot better.
Pretty good for a 40-year-old who's been a backup since 2012, yeah.
Was it him that said, we're going to take the ball and score? Was that him or his brother? I don't know why I'm thinking about that.
Well, if it was his brother, he didn't live up to that.
Did Matt Hasselbeck ever play for Seattle?
Yes, Matt Hasselbeck.
Then it was Matt Hasselbeck.
Matt was the one who was there all those years with the Seahawks, the playoffs, the Super Bowl 40 run.
Came a long way from that to last night.
Yeah.
And I only saw him throw one pass, but it was on the money for T.Y. Hilton, over to safety. Nothing the guy could do about it. Great stuff from Matt Hasselbeck last night. And the Indianapolis Colts go to 3-2. And Houston, they're 1-4. Got to figure something out in Houston. They're a better team than 1-4, I think.
It's the quarterback situation.
It has to be the quarterback
situation. It's really the quarterbacks.
Yeah, I don't know. And, I think I have no idea what's going to happen down there, but we'll see. I think they're better than a 1-4 team. I really do. I mean, they have the Jaguars next week, and then they have the Dolphins, and then the Titans.
Yeah.
Could realistically be 4-4 after 3 weeks, but we'll see.
So, once again, that's the Colts getting up to 3-2. They will be home against the Patriots next Sunday night on NBC. That's Sunday, October 18th. As for the Texans, they will go to Jacksonville next Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern. Moving on quickly now, NHL opened up back on Wednesday night also. The Rangers getting a very nice win over the
Chicago Blackhawks on banner night.
That is right. Beating up Corey Crawford, who, albeit he's not an elite goalie, got ahead early and never looked back. So there was that. And then last night down at First Niagara Center, the Sabres played the Senators. Sabres were around 2-0 and came back with a very nice goal by one Jack Eichel.
And I mean, big important thing for Jack Eichel last night. I thought he played a really good game. He's not the best defensive player we're going to see in the world. And then also speaking on for the Rangers, I thought Henrik Lundqvist played great as usual. It was good to see that some other guys stepped in for the Rangers there on Wednesday night, and it's just good to see the NHL being back. Now here's a question I have for you from the one opener, and then as I find the audio here for Jack Eichel, the one question I have is, what do you think about the entire coach's challenge? What do you think about that? Because I know the Sabres didn't get a goal because of that, because of an offsides play. What are your thoughts and opinions on that?
There's no need for it, period.
Really?
It's going to slow the game down. It's going to wear. It's kind of like baseballs, or at least early on. They're going to have to rough some bugs out. It's going to take longer than it will, chances are. Last night, that was a goal, and a goal is a goal, and people, for a guy being just a tad offsides, aren't going to really care that much. So,
well, here's my thing about it. Is I like the initial thought of it. Now, the rule is you can do it on, I believe, goaltender interference on a goal that's scored. If you believe your goalie was interfered, you can challenge that. And then there's one, if there's an offsides prior to the play, you can challenge it. I don't like that rule as much because it takes away the time. So say there's a goal scored and the play leading into the zone is offsides, and you could be in the offensive zone for another 50 seconds working, grinding, trying to cycle the puck down low, and those 50 seconds in that goal could get taken away. And that's what happened last night to the Sabres. Or no, it wasn't, but I'm saying, here's what my point is. If it's blatant at the initial point of the goal, it's okay for me to challenge. But I think you're right. I think it slows the game down when you start taking time away from the clock that's already expired, in the minute and in the 50-second minute range. It doesn't seem like a good flow to the game. Am I making sense?
Yeah, yes, you're making complete sense.
No, I think here's what the rule could be. This could be a logical rule. It's either 30 seconds, or you can, if the offsides occurs and the puck comes back out of the zone, you can't challenge anymore. But anyway, you Buffalo fans have been waiting for this a long time. Here's what Gord Miller had to do on the call last night as Jack Eichel got his first career goal to cut it to a 2-1 deficit with about 10:50 to go in the third period last night.
Now Foligno plays it back and crowds a chance for Eichel. Score! Jack Eichel's first National Hockey League goal!
What did you think about Jack Eichel's performance last night?
Well, it certainly revitalized the crowd. They certainly needed it, being down 2-0 deep into the third period.
They were playing slow up until that point.
Well, that's how the Sabres have normally been the last couple of years, slow and behind everybody else.
Someone was talking to me today. I'm not going to say who, but, they were saying, I hope that the Sabres suck again this year, and I hope, tank for Austin Matthews. And I really don't think the Sabres are that bad this year. I think Sabres...
I think they'll be 12th or 13th. I think they'll be better than
honestly,
the rock bottom.
I think they're going to be better than that. I think they're going to be in the mix fighting for that last wild card spot. Maybe 2 spots out of the last wild card.
I don't know, but...
they have Eichel, and Eichel's a great player, don't get me wrong. I still think Connor McDavid's better, but you certainly have a great pick in Jack Eichel. The defense is there. Robin Lehner is a very capable goalie. He hasn't been very consistent to the start of this season, but I still think he's a very capable goalie. You have Rodriguez in Rochester. He's going to come up and be a valuable piece someday. Same with Reinhart. And I don't know. I think Evander Kane adds a lot of great speed to that team. That team last year was not very quick and not very fast at all. I think Evander Kane brings a different style of play to the Sabres. I like the Sabres this year. I think the Sabres are going to be a little bit more dangerous than people give them credit for.
Well, there's still a lot of time left. There's 81 games left. So we're going to take a quick break here. When we come back, all those good page 2s for your Friday, plus a little bit of Niagara sports talk. This is the Jube Alert on WNIA Radio.
On Fox and TBS.
Hit on the throw. He has his man. It's Hogan into the end zone for the Buffalo touchdown. Taylor's going to take a shot. He's got his man Harvin caught in the end zone for the Buffalo touchdown.
Buffalo Bills football on Fox and CBS all season long.
This is the Jube Alert on WNIA Radio. Here are your hosts, Greg Jubert and Kyle Parker.
All right, here we are back approaching the bottom of the hour here on the Jube Alert. We're going to go and turn it over to the page 2s, everything that's happened since last Monday afternoon, and what's good and what's cracking. So, Kyle, go ahead.
Alrighty, we're going to start in the NBA here today. Michael Kidd-Gilchrist of the Charlotte Hornets has a right shoulder surgery. He's going to miss 6 months with that right shoulder, expected to be back halfway during the season. Also in the NBA, D'Angelo Russell during the week left the preseason game again in Hawaii against the Utah Jazz, I believe, with a bruised glute. His status is to be determined. Moving on to golf now, the United States has a 4-1 lead over the international team in the President's Cup over in South Korea. We're going to move on quickly now to the NFL. Odell Beckham Jr. has been fined $8,681 for punching Buffalo's Duke Williams last Sunday during, I believe, a punt return. Am I correct?
It was the interception.
The last interception that Eli Manning threw.
Yeah.
So he has been fined for that. I believe he's going to appeal, correct?
Yes.
He has been appealing. Moving on now to NCAA basketball. 2016 recruit, the number 1 center in the nation. I didn't even write his name down. Oh, my goodness.
Life goes on. Keep going.
Well, you know what? We're going to move on. We're going to move on to Bryant University now. Chris Burns is an assistant basketball coach at the Bryant University. He is the first coach to openly speak as gay. He told Outsports.com the other day. He said that he is ready to make a difference in the sport world, as referring to gays in the sport world. Also moving on, Notre Dame football has said that they are going to now issue tickets to the students for their football games for free.
That's basketball.
Basketball. I'm a wreck today.
It's Friday. We're all just waiting for the weekend.
That's true. We are waiting for the weekend. And then last for the page 2s today, Ichiro Suzuki has said he will return for another season. He is a few hits shy of 3,000 for the MLB. He already has over 3,000 in pro baseball between Japan and the major leagues. Moving on now to your NU sports rundown. So on today, the Niagara University tennis team will be at the UB Tennis Invite. The hockey team will be at St. Lawrence University tonight at 7 p.m. and women's soccer is actually playing right now against Manhattan at home. And on Saturday, the volleyball team will play Canisius at 1 p.m. here at the Gallagher Center. Men's soccer will play at Manhattan at 2 p.m. And also tomorrow night, the hockey team takes on Clarkson at Clarkson, 7 p.m. And those are your page 2s and Niagara Sports Rundown.
And club hockey moved up 3 spots in the standings this week. They went from 14th to 11th, so almost right there, right on the edge of the top 10.
They're a good team.
That Michael Kidd-Gilchrist injury seemed to be better now than originally proposed. Many thought it would be he'd miss the entire season. Now it's only half the year. He's a good complement piece for the Hornets, alongside Al Jefferson and Kemba Walker, among others. So nice pickup there. So when we come back, NFL talk for this weekend. How will the Bills do against Marcus Mariota? How will the Bengals and Seahawks go on Sunday? This is the Jube Alert on WNIA Radio. Hey everybody, this is Greg Jube here. Are you interested in music such as pop, rock, rap, and R&B? Are you interested in catching up on what's trending in the world of sports and around the area? Well, tune into the Jeffish Show starring Joey Jeffrey Fridays from 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern on WNIA. It'll be a fun and exciting hour with Joey and the rest of the gang. That's the Jeffish Show Fridays from 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern on WNIA, Niagara University's Mix and More Radio.
Hi, Kyle Barker here for the Jube Alert. Be sure to connect with us on our Facebook and Twitter pages, or email the show at thejubealert@gmail.com. Missed the show? Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Jube Alert, for inside access and replays for the show. That's the Jube Alert, Mondays and Fridays, 1 to 2 p.m. on WNIA Radio, Niagara University's radio for Mix and More.
The NHL returns October 7th between the New York Rangers and Chicago Blackhawks. Check out NHL.com for local listings and more.
This is the Jube Alert on WNIA Radio. Here are your hosts, Greg Jube and Kyle Barker.
Alrighty now, welcome back here to the Jube Alert. It is just about 2:30 here on a Friday afternoon at Niagara University. Kyle Barker here alongside with the host Greg Jube here on the Jube Alert. Just got done talking about some simple page twos, and now we're going to move on to our NFL segment where you're going to recap and preview all the games that we have for you on Sunday. Biggest one for me being Cowboys and Patriots, but we'll get to that one later.
A little bias behind
that, but we will definitely get to that one later. Greg Jube, are you ready to read us on Sunday football?
Let's go. All right, so let's kick it off. Down in the Peach State, I think that's what they call it. Redskins and Falcons. Washington coming off a big victory against the Eagles in the last minute back last Sunday. Atlanta smoldered Houston 48-21 last Sunday. Atlanta's 4-0. They keep the trend going. Matt Ryan and Julio Jones will continue. Falcons will improve to 5-0 with a big win over the Redskins.
All right, now in Baltimore, the Cleveland Browns and the Baltimore Ravens will take off a game at 1 p.m. Just remember, the Browns came off that pretty horrific loss in San Diego. They had the offsides at the end of the game on the field goal. Tough break for the Browns, but they will be heading to Baltimore. Joe Flacco has had a nice season, even though the Baltimore Ravens are struggling. He's had 102 completions out of 159 attempts for 1,052 yards and 5 touchdowns. Again, that's the Browns and the Ravens Sunday at 1.
I got Baltimore in that one.
I have Baltimore as well.
Moving on to quite the game in the Queen City. Seahawks at Bengals. Should be interesting how Seattle's running game goes. A little banged up with Marshawn Lynch and Fred Jackson, so we'll see. Even if anybody does go, can Cincinnati's run defense hold them and limit them? I say yes. Bengals 4-0 also. Seattle, not the same team on the road as in Seattle, certainly. I got the Bengals in this one. I think Bengals defense shows up, shuts down Russell Wilson, doesn't let him scramble and run around. So look for a big day for Geno Atkins and the Bengals D.
I think I'm going to pick the Seahawks. I think the Seahawks are going to start to get their groove together. Russell Wilson can't be bad for this long. They did have a kind of a lucky win against the Lions on Monday Night Football, but I'm going to take the Seahawks in this one as it is. Moving on now to Green Bay. The high in Green Bay on Sunday is going to be 76 degrees. It's going to be a scorcher in Green Bay, Wisconsin, as the St. Louis Rams will come to town. Green Bay is still 4-0 and undefeated. St. Louis is 2-2. The Rams are looking for another statement win after knocking off the Arizona Cardinals yesterday, and I'm going to keep it going with the St. Louis Rams. I'm picking them on Sunday. I do not like the Green Bay Packers, so therefore I'm picking the Rams.
Well, from what I see is Aaron Rodgers has not thrown an interception at home since 2012.
Since forever.
Since December 21st, 2012. Therefore, you need to pick off Aaron Rodgers to beat Aaron Rodgers, and that doesn't happen at Lambeau. So Packers are going to come out with another win. They'll be 5-0. They'll continue their very comfortable lead in the NFC North. Moving on now to Kansas City. The Bears coming off their first win, a late second victory on a kick by Robbie Gould. Gave the Bears a 22-20 victory over the Raiders. Chiefs struggled again last week against the Bengals. Couldn't really do much. So It'll be interesting, but you know what? I think this is an upset. I think the Bears will come out and beat Kansas City this week. That's what I'm going for. I think the Bears, Jamal Charles and Matt Forte are, I don't want to say one and the same, but Matt Forte is just as good, and he's proven it over years that he can be. Jamal Charles can be unbelievable, but he can have some days where it's just shaky. So I got the Bears upsetting the Chiefs. That's my upset for the week.
I think I'm going to take the Chiefs on this one, just because the Chiefs are a little bit more experienced. The Bears struggling this season. They did get a win over the Raiders last week, but I'm taking the Kansas City Chiefs. Moving on to the battle of the basement, the new 1-3 New Orleans Saints and the 1-3 Philadelphia Eagles will kick off in Philadelphia at 1 o'clock on Sunday. The New Orleans Saints just got off a win against the Dallas Cowboys. The Eagles just got off a win against the Redskins. Even though I'm really not happy with the Saints right now, gotta root for the Saints. I'm picking the Saints. Philadelphia is just a dumpster fire right now. New Orleans has Drew Brees back. He's looking like he might be able to save the season. And so we'll be able to see here as to what goes on as our NFL on Fox theme is just cut out. Lovely. Not much is working for us today.
Maybe not for you, but you know what? It's okay. We'll be out of here soon.
But I'm going to pick the New Orleans Saints to beat the Philadelphia Eagles in Philadelphia on Sunday.
Moving on now to another game featuring teams struggling this season so far. A battle of two of the three teams in Florida as the Jaguars go to Tampa Bay to face the Bucs. Jacksonville has lost 11 straight road games, and you know what? Tampa has lost 11 straight at Raymond James Stadium. So you got Blake Bortles and you got Jameis Winston. That's enough said, pretty much. It's a really tough matchup to pick here, Jacksonville or Tampa. One of those streaks has to be snapped, so I'm going to say Jacksonville this week. I think, you know what, Jacksonville was embarrassed last week by Matt Hasselbeck, Matt Hasselbeck just pure embarrassed the Jags. In Tampa, Jameis Winston did not have a good week at home last week against the Panthers. Threw 4 picks, including a pick 6. So, Jacksonville is going to snap their road streak. Jaguars beat Tampa.
I'm going to take the Jacksonville Jaguars as well over Jameis Winston. Jameis Winston has not proven himself as a very good quarterback for the number 1 overall pick yet. Still needs some work. Jacksonville for me. Moving on now to Nashville, Tennessee, as the Tennessee Titans will take on the Buffalo Bills. Tennessee is right now 1-2 and second in the AFC South. The Bills are 2-2, looking to catch the New York Jets and New England Patriots for that top spot in the AFC East. Right now, Tyrod Taylor's having a good season, 86 for 120, 988 yards, and 8 touchdowns. Marcus Mariota is just about the same numbers, 61 for 96 with 833 yards, 8 touchdowns. Marcus Mariota has looked very sharp. But the Bills' defense is good on paper. I don't think they're going to have another meltdown this week. I'm taking the Bills in Tennessee.
I got the Bills, even if they can't run the ball. LaShawn McCoy just announcing today he's likely out 3 to 4 weeks, so you're looking at chances are he will be out until the bye. Carlos Williams, very unknown, up in the air, more likely out than in. So look for Boobie Dixon. They signed former Colts running back Daniel Herron, so expect him to get reps, but Boobie Dixon will be listed as the number 1. Aaron Williams is back, and pretty much everybody else should be good to go, so I'm taking the Bills on that one. Arizona at Detroit. Boy, Detroit just cannot catch a break to start this season, as we saw on Monday Night Football with that controversial play. Detroit's going to fall to 0-5. Arizona last week got stymied by the Rams in Arizona in the Big Toaster. Arizona heads to the Motor City. Cardinals are going to come away with a big win in the Dome. I got the Cardinals shutting the Lions down once again.
I'm going to take Arizona in that game as well. Arizona's going to bounce back this week. Detroit has not looked good this season. Almost got the win against the Seahawks, but I'm taking the Arizona Cardinals in Detroit. Moving on to a game that I will not be watching, not because I don't want to, I will not be able to, but the New England Patriots are coming into Jerry World in Dallas. The Arlington High is going to be 93 degrees. Again, Dallas needs to just find a way. All you got to do is find a way to beat the Patriots. I want to pick Dallas, but I can't. I have New England winning this game. And I'm seeing news that Dez will be able to return after week 6, maybe. So, you know what? I'm only hoping for 500. That the Patriots are going to win this game.
Would you have watched this game if you were able to?
Oh, if I was able to, absolutely.
It may not be good for your state of health.
No, I will. Well, You see, I'm not expecting them to beat the Patriots. I'm expecting them to beat the New Orleans Saints.
Moving on now, AFC West showdown. The Broncos continuing to roll after Peyton Manning's nice game against Detroit last week. Denver faces Oakland. Oakland at 2-2 with Derek Carr. Oakland showed some good poise this year and some really good opportunities and a couple really nice games. But Peyton Manning is still Peyton Manning, and the Raiders will still be exposed because some things never change. So you know what? Denver beating Oakland at the Coliseum. That's what I got.
Alrighty, so now we take you to Sunday night football between the San Francisco 49ers and the New York Giants. Shame that they couldn't take this game off the TV waves and find a better game.
Flex scheduling starts next week.
Flex
Get ready.
Thank God. But the Giants are turning their season around. They did start 0-2, and they are now 2-2, so they are looking good. Atop Dallas for the top spot in the NFC East. Also Washington up there in the top spot for a three-way tie. San Francisco is struggling mightily. They are 1-3. Colin Kaepernick can't find a rhythm. They're only getting 158 passing yards a game. 130 yards rushing per game, but rushing sometimes does not win you football games. I need the 49ers to win. I need them to win desperately, but the Giants are going to get the win at home on Sunday Night Football.
I got San Francisco. Kaepernick's got his back against the wall. He's got his back against the wall. He knows this is his go time, and he needs it. So I'm going to take the upset. I'm going to say San Francisco, in a much-needed situation, comes away with a win. So that's our updates here for this upcoming Sunday. Further news that just came in, Troy Tulowitzki had a range up the middle. He spun, turned around, and fired off his balance to throw it to first. Toronto currently has a 4-3 lead over the Rangers in the 6th. Toronto has not won a playoff game since 1993.
Hopefully Toronto can get the win today.
Yeah, certainly would be nice. You know, nice underdog story. When we come back, trivia and brand new segment we just developed this week. What is it? Well, stay tuned and find out after the break. This is the Jube Alert on WNIA Radio. Hey, this is Greg Jubert and Kyle Barker, and this is WNIA, Niagara University's Mix and More Radio.
Catch our show, The Jube Alert, Mondays and Fridays, 1 to 2 p.m. Eastern, and make sure to connect with us on Facebook and Twitter.
That's the Jube Alert, Mondays and Fridays from 1 to 2 p.m. Eastern on WNIA.
Missed the show? Don't worry, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Jube Alert, for the inside access with Greg and Kyle. That's the Jube Alert, Mondays and Fridays, 1 to 2 p.m. on WNIA Radio, Niagara University's radio for Mix and More.
Hey, this is Jetfish. I'm just bringing you guys some news about the Jube Alert. It will be on Mondays 1 to 2 p.m. and Fridays 1 to 2 p.m. These guys are pretty cool, and they'll be talking about sports or what's trending, and there'll be a lot of exciting stuff, so check them out.
Catch the postseason on Fox and TBS.
You know what really grinds my gears?
How on earth does Barry Church not make that tackle? It's not that hard. The secondary was horrendous last night for Dallas.
Wait a minute. That's the smartest thing I've ever heard anyone say about anything.
In their hands, we're going to overtime if we can just make one stop. No. CJ Spiller, 80 yards down the field.
It's time for what grinds my gears with Kyle Barker.
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game.
Hello and welcome back here to the Jube Alert to a brand new section. Crank it up.
This is too good.
Great song.
Too good.
Anyway, it's a new segment called What Grinds Kyle's Gears. As you can see, a lot of things grind my gears, get me upset. One of them would have been if the Cubs had lost. That probably would have been the only one. Probably would have ranted even some more about that. But I have one big thing today that really just grinds my gears in sports, and that is NBA basketball players all proclaiming that they are the best in the world. Enough's enough. Did you hear what James Harden said the other day? He said that, he thinks he's the MVP, and then, these players go back and forth and back and forth. I'm the best. No, you're the best. I'm the best. I'm the best. Stop it. There's no best player in the NBA. You're all good. And then lastly, that brawl in Pittsburgh, oh man, that really got me going. Made me really mad. There's no reason to hit Jake Arrieta in that spot. That really grinded my gears. I was yelling at the TV. No reason. What's the pitcher's name for Pittsburgh?
Tony Watson.
Dude, don't throw at Jake Arrieta. Stupid.
Yeah, don't throw at Arrieta. He's the golden child.
It's only going to make him even mad. It's going to make him even worse. And he's going to just strike you out. And he did that the rest of the game. Just shut you down. And Sean Rodriguez, my God, grow up. Come on. Did you see the Pirates water cooler Twitter account, though?
No.
Really funny stuff. I don't know if it'd be funny to you, but there was a mock Twitter made about the Pirates water cooler. What have I done? It was complaining about Sean Rodriguez punching. Oh man, he just went to town in the water cooler. But nevertheless, those are what grinds my gears today. Usually something always is grinding my gears, but that is the big one today. Just had to bring that out there for you. New segment. I hope you guys liked it. What did you think of it, Greg?
Well, good enough.
Good enough?
Yeah, no, that was good. That was good.
Good.
I'm still hooked on the song. So.
Good. Hooked on the Sesame Street Mana. Oh well, we're gonna move on to a different song now.
Time for trivia.
Are you ready for your trivia question? You ready?
Now I am.
Okay. So I forgot to get one, and I don't want you to look.
All right, I'm not
It's
gonna
right
look.
on my screen. I know you can see it.
I'm not gonna look.
What? Not looking.
I've got my hand over the mic right now, so I can't see it.
Okay. This is an NCAA Division I football question.
All right.
All right. What is the record for the longest NCAA Division I football winning streak? What school has the longest streak?
Which school or how long is the streak?
Which school?
Ooh.
They are a Big 12 team, and
All
the
right.
record occurred from 1953 to 57.
Wow, that's quite a streak. So Big 12, so you're looking at like Oklahoma, Texas, A&M, all that good stuff.
The streak lasted 47 games.
47. Wow, that's a tough one. 47 straight games. I'm going to say Oklahoma.
Oklahoma is correct. Congratulations.
Yay.
Very nicely done. The NCAA Division I football record is 47 games set by Oklahoma Sooners in 1953 to 1957.
I'm just seeing the said water cooler charges, or the Twitter. Just had that pop up.
It's pretty, I mean, come on. Even though you're a Pirates fan, that's pretty funny.
Yeah, it's clever. I like it.
Clearly, whoever made that is not a Pirates fan, but still, that is very funny.
That's okay. I find some humor in it all. All right, so I guess just final thoughts, I guess, for the weekend. What you got? What's coming up?
Yeah,
Anything
our
that
show
jumps
is
out
not.
at you?
I don't know if we're gonna. Well, we'll hit the hour today, but before we go to our last break, final thoughts for the weekend. I'm not going to be able to watch very many sports this weekend. I'm not going to be able to watch the Cubs today. I'm not going to be able to watch college football tomorrow. Not going to be able to watch Syracuse and USF, and then I'm not going to be able to watch football on Sunday. I'm going to be in a car in Pennsylvania the whole week.
Questioning your life choices.
No.
Yeah.
No, the hockey player in me misses playing hockey, so roller hockey tournament this weekend in Feasterville, Pennsylvania. Please, by God, if any of you know anything good to do in Feasterville, Pennsylvania, tweet me, tweet the show. If anyone's ever been there, please. Because it seems like a ghost town. Well, it just seems about to be 10 minutes north of Philadelphia, but I'm looking forward to it. First roller hockey tournament here at Niagara. Not really sure what to expect. I think it's going to be a fun weekend.
Did you ever find a goalie?
I believe we did, yes. I hope we did.
Yeah, that's kind of important.
If not, I will volunteer, and I will play a little goalie. I did play a little hockey goalie in my day.
All right.
I had one shutout as a mite. Do you know what a mite is?
What, you were like 7, 8?
A mite is about I think it's 9 to 10. Yeah.
Close, yeah.
Fulton, New York. And then lastly, before we go to break, the team that I had the pleasure to intern with last year, the Syracuse Crunch, starts their season on the road at Lehigh Valley tonight at 7 p.m. Best of luck to the team and the staff on a nice and successful season. Anything for you this weekend, Greg?
Certainly the playoff series. I'm really curious to see. Tonight's going to be a big deal. Certainly seeing the Jacob deGrom, Clayton Kershaw one is the biggie. You know, who does it matter more for? I would say Kershaw, certainly. So that's something certainly to look forward to. Really, of course, Cincinnati, Seattle's the big game that stands out to me for Sunday. Really interested to see how that goes, if Seattle has it in them. So, yeah, so we're going to take one last quick break. Is that it?
We're going to take one more break. We're not on the air on Monday. Just a reminder, we're not in school. School is not in session on Monday. So when we come back, we're going to quickly preview Monday Night Football, since we can't do that on Monday. And we might as well take some predictions at the baseball series, predict who we think is going to win. When we come back, will those division series be over? Some might be.
Yeah,
but the game 5s might be still going. So we're going to take
because they're out of 5, so it'll be done by 3. Even if you think 2 a day off, then they would play Sunday.
Yep,
would be like ALDS. Okay.
Yep. So we're just going to take a very brief break here on the Jube Alert, and when we come back, we're going to preview Monday Night Football, and we're also going to take our picks for the ALDS and NLDS in Major League Baseball, and we're going to have even some more final thoughts. Maybe something might pop into our heads as for final thoughts. This is the Jube Alert on WNIA Radio.
Be sure to connect with us on our Facebook and Twitter pages, or email the show at thejubealert@gmail.com. Missed the show? Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Jube Alert, for inside access and replays for the show. That's the Jube Alert, Mondays and Fridays, 1 to 2 p.m. on WNIA Radio, Niagara University's radio for mix and more.
Missed the show? Don't worry, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Jube Alert, for the inside access with Greg and Kyle. That's the Jube Alert, Mondays and Fridays, 1 to 2 p.m. on WNIA Radio, Niagara University's radio for mix and more. Welcome back to the Jube Alert, live in the Gallagher Center basement here at NU. Here are your hosts, Greg Juber and Kyle Barker.
Alrighty, welcome back to the show. We're going to just wrap up our final thoughts here. A little Monday Night Football preview between the Steelers and Chargers, since we will not be doing it on Monday. Very quickly, I think the Chargers and Steelers, I think it's going to be a rather good game for Monday Night Football. I really do.
I agree. I mean, you're looking at 2 quarterbacks from the same draft, and they've had nothing but success.
That's
Ben
very,
more
very
than
true.
Phillip.
I think is Michael Vick is going to be starting this game, correct? And
Yes.
Roethlisberger's not back.
Yes.
Michael Vick, I think, is going to have a decently good time against the Chargers defense. The Chargers defense is not really known for rushing the quarterback all that well. Decent secondary at best. And I think, if Vick gets outside of the pocket, I think it's going to be a little bit of trouble for that Chargers linebacker core with Manti Te'o in there. I think Michael Vick could cause a couple issues for the Chargers. I think the Chargers are the one team that really will expose Michael Vick in a positive way.
Decently good. That's the phrase I think I got out of that more than anything. Decently good.
Well, what's the word you like to say? You haven't said it today.
Formidable.
Formidable, yes.
Formidable.
You have not said it today. So
I
I'm
have not.
Proud of you.
Yeah. So, yeah. Postseason matchups. Let's talk about those quickly in baseball. Just go through them. Rapid fire. Right now, it's in the bottom of the 7th. Still the same score. Blue Jays up 4-3 behind Marcus Stroman. Blue Jays over the Rangers. And Houston will be playing Kansas City in less than an hour. Scott Kazmir, Johnny Cueto.
And for the series, I think, we're just going to run through the series real quick. Mets and Dodgers, who you think is going to win that series?
Dodgers. Dodgers have the experience. They have the top 2 pitchers in the National League. 2 out of 3 at least. You're happy. Good.
I don't know. I honestly don't know who's going to win this series. I can't really pick. The Mets have a really good pitching core. But the Dodgers have the bats and the pitching core,
and the experience.
And the experience. I mean, obviously Cespedes helps the Mets, and Lucas Duda, and those players have nicely fit into that role on the Mets. I think that series could go 5. I think that could possibly be the best series out of any of the DSs. Just for the heck of it, I'm going to pick the Mets because why not? Why not root for an underdog? Not really a big fan of these big market teams, that can just kind of buy their way to championships, and that's been the talk, all year is, the Dodgers have all this salary, and, they're paying so much money to these players, and, it's World Series or bust for the Dodgers, so I would like to see that argument come up again. I'm going to pick the Mets in that series.
We already talked about the one NLDS game enough. So that's enough of that. Astros Royals, I think Kansas City's still going to find a way. They've been the best team in the American League for the entire season. I don't see them letting up on the gas at all. They got their back against the wall. They're going to come out tonight with Cueto and dominate, and then they're going to go in straight to the ALCS.
I think the Astros could potentially knock off the Royals. Potentially could. Colby Rasmus has been swinging the bat well, and, Correa has been swinging. Did you see the sports science on Correa by any chance?
No.
Nasty average against sliders. I think it's something like a 390 average when he has a slider coming his way.
Wow.
So don't pitch the slider to Correa. I think the Astros are an up-and-coming team. If they don't get the win against the Royals in this series, I think you got to look out for them next year. You get these playoff games, you get the wild card, essentially like a Game 7. You get the experience out of that. The Astros could very, very realistically pull this one out. And, we'll have to wait and see. But the Royals and Salvador Perez, that lineup they have there in Kansas City, they're a good team as well. Obviously defending AL champions. It's going to be tough for any team to get past the Royals, but it's also tough to get past the Astros in the same aspect. What do you think for that series?
Depends if the Astros hit home runs or have strikeouts. That's what's going to come down to.
They're not a small ball team. They do need to hit the ball extremely well to do that.
I just think the Royals have the confidence from last year, and the Astros are just testing the water.
I definitely would agree with that. I think the Royals are just on a mission to win this year at all costs. They have to win. I was rooting for them so hard last year, and they ran into history. Madison Bumgarner was just fantastic last year, and if the Cubs, chances are the Cubs aren't going to make the World Series, so the next team I'd look forward to is the Royals. So I hope the Royals have a nice postseason, and if it's not the Cubs, I hope the Royals can get it done this year, or the Blue Jays, one of the two.
For Toronto and Texas, for me, it's a matter of Texas has Cole Hamels. Texas has really been on fire since the end of July. Toronto, on the other hand, also has been hot, and they're all in for this year. But I don't know why Mark Burley's not on the postseason roster because, yes, you have David Price and Stroman. But is R.A. Dickey really your next option?
Well, R.A. Dickey, the thing about knuckleballers is...
Let alone he's in such a hitter-friendly ballpark.
Yeah, I know. But, the thing about them is they're either really hittable or they're really hard to hit against. There's just no in-between. They either give up 8 runs or they give up none. And, obviously, they trust him in Toronto there to take the hill on those playoff games. He's had enough experience and he has enough wins to say, in a playoff game, we need... Now, he's not the pitcher you're going to send out in an elimination game.
No.
But for a game, maybe if the series is 1-1, why not? He's not the worst thing in the world. You could definitely have worse pitchers than R.A. Dickey.
I'm rooting for Toronto, but I just think Texas has it in them. I really do.
Texas
I think Prince's bat, not to be confused with Prince's fat, Prince's bat is going to come alive for this week. I really do.
Well, the Texas bats and that whole team has been clicking ever since the beginning of August. They had to catch the Astros to win the division. The Astros really were slipping there at the end of the year. So the Rangers have been on a very good hot streak. As for Toronto, they've been good all season. So I think that, them losing one game is not going to hurt them, by any stretch of the imagination. They're a good team. And, Toronto had those injury scares yesterday with Jose Bautista and Josh Donaldson. They're both back, which is good news. Toronto was rocking yesterday. The place looked really packed. It looked really fun there in Toronto. I'm rooting for Toronto just because I'd like to go see them. And as it stands right now, before we head off the air, they are leading the Texas Rangers 4-2 in the bottom of the 7th with 2 outs. Excuse me. God. That's the fourth. We should have a mistake button, something to like laugh at me when I make mistakes.
You're doing great, Kyle. Just keep going.
It's only me that makes that. You know what grinds my gears? Me making mistakes.
Boy, you're not the only one.
But anyway, oh no, the seventh inning is just, and so after 7, the Toronto Blue Jays are over the Texas Rangers 4-3. Any final thoughts you have for the weekend?
I don't think so. Any your way?
I don't have any my way.
All right, so we're going to wrap things up here. We will be next on the air a week from today, next Friday from 1 to 2 p.m. Eastern, back at our original time. Always remember, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, subscribe to our YouTube channel, catch all of the shows. Once again, for Kyle Barker, I am Greg Schubert. Have a great holiday weekend, everybody. We'll see you on Friday.
Up you can. Put it on the board. Yes.
Hit on the throw. He has his man. It's Hogan into the end zone for the Buffalo touchdown. Taylor's going to take a shot. He's got his man Harvin caught in the end zone for the Buffalo touchdown.
Buffalo Bills football on